Welcome to Home with Justin. Begin by reading the site like a designer. Walk the path and note the frame, the doorway, the windows, the axis that the stone walk creates. Observe light patterns through the day, where is morning sun, where is afternoon shade, and detect any prevailing wind or reflected heat. Feel the soil. Is it loose and crumbly, heavy and clay-like, or sandy and fast-draining? These basic observations shape plant choices, placement, and soil preparation. Also note sight lines from inside the house, the window views that will showcase the garden. And keep those lines uncluttered so key elements read clearly from multiple angles. Think about structure first. The image shows symmetry and restraint. Clipped boxwood or small evergreen hedges define edges and provide year-round backbone. Choose a few structural elements that anchor the design. A pair of formal shrubs by the entrance, a low-clipped hedge along the path, and a specimen tree providing height and seasonality. Structure keeps the garden readable in winter and provides a framework into which seasonal and perennial plantings fit. When selecting structural plants, prioritize hardy, low-maintenance species that tolerate pruning and provide consistent form. Layer plantings for depth and movement. Use a three-tier approach. Taller elements and focal trees at the back or center, medium-height shrubs and perennials in the middle, and bulbs, ground covers, or edging plants at the front. This tiering protects sightlines while offering interest at every viewing height. In the pictured scene, the spring bulbs, tulips and daffodils provide a striking seasonal foreground beneath a flowering canopy. Plan for repeats of color and form along the border to create rhythm. Repeating a few key plants in groups of 3 or 5 helps the design read as intentional rather than accidental. Choose a thoughtful plant palette that balances seasonality, texture, and scent. Combine evergreen structure with spring flowering bulbs, mid-season perennials, and late-season interest. For spring impact, mix bulb varieties that bloom in sequence, early daffodils, mid-season tulips, and later alliums. To extend the display, add low-mounding perennials, Heuchera, pulmonaria, and hardy ground covers to hold the bed after bulbs fade. For scent and pollinator value, include tulip-adjacent companions like lavender, catmint, or salvia in nearby beds where they can take over as bulbs die back. Choose foliage contrasts, variegated or silver-leaved plants against deep green hedges for year-round textural interest. Prepare soil and planting areas correctly. For beds, remove weeds and work the soil to a depth of at least 8 to 12 inches. Incorporate plenty of compost to improve structure and drainage. Bulbs prefer well-drained soil and will rot in waterlogged conditions. If the soil is heavy clay, amend with coarse sand and organic matter, or create raised beds to lift bulbs into a friendlier environment. For hedging and shrubs, dig holes twice the width of the root ball, mix some compost into the backfill, and avoid planting too deep. Set the root crown level with the surrounding soil. Lay out hardscape and circulation to support use and maintenance. The stone path in the seam provides a clear route and a visual spine. Choose paving that suits the home style. Irregular flagstone for a romantic feel, neatly cut bluestone for formal symmetry, or brick for warmth. Keep edges crisp between turf and beds. A simple steel or plastic edging can prevent grass from creeping into planting beds and reduces the need for frequent trimming. Consider stepping stones set into turf at side routes. They provide access without compacting the lawn and add casual charm. Keep plant spacing and grouping practical and future-aware. Allow plants room to reach mature sizes. Crowding forces extra maintenance and spoils the design. Group bulbs and perennials in drifts rather than single lines. Bold, clustered plantings read better from a distance and create a naturalized look. For hedges and clipped forms, set plants at the recommended spacing for a tight-knit effect when mature. For mixed borders, stagger plants to avoid a rigid row while maintaining repeating rhythms. Adopt simple planting techniques for lasting success. Plant bulbs at the recommended depth, usually 2 to 3 times the bulb height, pointed end up, and backfill with loose soil. Water in newly planted shrubs and hedges properly to settle roots and eliminate air pockets. Mulch beds with a 2 to 3 inch layer of organic mulch to conserve moisture and suppress weeds, but keep mulch a few inches away from trunk bases to prevent rot. Label bulbs and plant groups, especially if planting multiple varieties that bloom at different times, so the sequence of color is clear each spring. Create a maintenance rhythm that fits real life. Spend short, consistent periods each week. 20 to 30 minutes. On key tasks, removing spent blooms, sweeping the path, checking irrigation, and harvesting cut branches if a blossom branch is needed indoors. Deadhead spring bulbs only after foliage has yellowed and dried, allowing energy to return to the bulb for next year's bloom. Prune hedges lightly to keep crisp form. Major pruning is best done in late winter or early spring before new growth begins. Divide and refresh perennial clumps every 3 to 5 years to maintain vigor, and to create free plants to expand other beds. Design for year-round interest and resilience. Include plants that offer winter texture, cornice stems, boxwood, or tall ornamental grasses that catch frost. For the flowering tree canopy, choose species that fit the site and won't create excessive litter or root issues. Select disease-resistant varieties and space them for healthy air circulation. Anticipate pests and wildlife. If deer are a concern, choose less palatable shrubs or use discreet barriers. For voles or rodents that eat bulbs, consider bulb cages or lifts of coarser mulch. Work within a budget by phasing projects and using propagation. Begin with structural elements, hedging a specimen tree and key hardscape, then add bulbs and perennials in seasons over a couple of years. Divide mature perennials to create new plants. Take hardwood cuttings from shrubs where appropriate, and visit local plant swaps or community plant sales to broaden variety affordably. Small, well-placed investments in soil and structure repay through reduced maintenance and better plant performance. Add finishing touches that make the approach inviting. Place a bench or pair of small chairs in a tucked alcove to create a pause point. Use urns or seasonal pots near the door for year-round color. Change the contents with the seasons for fresh interest. Integrate subtle lighting along the path and uplights to showcase the tree canopy at night. Warm LED washes create an atmospheric approach without harsh glare.